Legoholics! Welcome back to another video, ladies and gentlemen. I am Journal Rex 1 here on the channel of Journal Rex 1. I know, shocker, it's crazy how things work. Today, I'm going to go ahead and be talking about a what if that I was going to make like a more of a systematical video, but then I decided, no, this could be a what if. And that is a what if Lego Star Wars Legacy. Usually the what if stuff has always been main lines for Lego, but this is going to be a subline for an already existing line known as Lego Star Wars. I'm pretty sure some people have heard of Lego Star Wars, right? Lego Star Wars Legacy would be very similar to a subline for Lego Ninjago called Lego Ninjago Legacy. RIP Ninjago Legacy, thank you for what you gave to us. Even though only 2 waves were almost perfect and 1 wave was Bantha Poodoo and the other 2 were all right. It's fine. It's all fine. So the question that comes up then is going to be, what is a legacy subline? The legacy subline for the Ninjago theme was pretty simple. It was to go ahead and make the opportunities for Lego, more specifically the Ninjago department, to go ahead and re-release sets from the past based off of past stories, while also being able to release new sets for their new stories and all the stories to come. Now, Ninjago Legacy, like I said, is already gone, but how would that work with Star Wars? Would it be a same idea, the same concept? Well, here's my answer to that. I believe that this would be the same exact concept, and I actually think, in my opinion, this would help a lot with the Star Wars department's efficiency when it comes to their Lego sets. So going on with the first part of this is systematically, how would this work with the current Lego Star Wars department? And the answer to that is going to be, it would go ahead and actually divide the Star Wars department, which sounds like a bad thing at first, but realistically would not be a bad thing whatsoever. This division would allow people to have the opportunities in the Star Wars department to focus on certain things rather than an entire department having to focus on the overabundance of Star Wars stuff that we have been getting the past 5 years, 5, 6, 7 years. It's been a lot of Star Wars stuff over the past handful of years, and it's been hard for a lot of these different companies to actually keep up with everything so that they meet not the criteria or the needs, but so that they are able to give some sort of substance to every part of the fandom. And it's too much when it comes to Star Wars, because the more Star Wars that comes out, the more you want to do with products, and the more products you want to release, it's going to affect the quality of those products. If I went from releasing, let's say, 10 products based off of Star Wars every year, to, because of the overabundance of Star Wars stuff, now I have to release 30 products of Star Wars every year, my focus and my efficiency of what I used to do with those 10 are not going to be the same as those 30. We want that to be, we would strive for that to be there, but it's not always the case of being there. So this division with the Lego Star Wars design department between Legacy subline and the main line would actually fix so many of the issues that I still see today. They're not as abundant of the past, and I'm not going to sit here and make this video as a complaint video, so I'm going to drop it right there. But let's go ahead and talk about how it would work. The main line of Lego Star Wars with this what if scenario would encompass all of the new Star Wars sources, all the new Star Wars media, all of the new Star Wars art, series, movies, games, etc., what have you. Then the Star Wars Legacy subline part of the department will focus specifically on the past stuff, also anniversaries, celebrations, those kinds of things that Lego always seems to not miss the boat on, but either they're on it or they're a year or even a year and a half late. This example to actually go ahead and use is, instead of using a recent example of Star Wars, of like recent Star Wars projects, I'm going to go back about, I was going to say about 10 years, but it's been over 10 years now, to a grand time of pre-Clone Wars movie and series Star Wars. So this is back when we had episodes 1 through 6, and then we had all of our video games, we had our novels, our comic books, that kind of stuff. You played a lot of Battlefront, a lot of Battlefront 2. If you knew about Knights of the Old Republic, you were playing Knights of the Old Republic, the Jedi Academy games, Star Wars Empire at War. You were reading the New Jedi Order novels. You were reading the, oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember, the Republic Commando novels, I believe, were out before the Clone Wars animated stuff. Correct me on that if I'm wrong, by the way. Thank you. Buzzy, thank you. You do awesome work. I appreciate it. And in this time, I want to go ahead and now focus this on being Lego Star Wars. So there's this announcement of the Clone Wars, this project of the Clone Wars coming out. It's an animated movie. It's going to become a series. People know this. And now with the Lego Star Wars department, they have to make a decision. We don't want to focus all of our efforts on the Clone Wars because there's still the iconic things from the 6 movies and these old video games and these novels and these comics, these stories that people love. But we also don't want to not do anything with the Clone Wars. So how do we get a really good mix of this? So the department sits down and decides we're going to go ahead and make a subline for our Star Wars line, being Legacy. And what the purpose of this is going to be is, for right now, the main line of Star Wars sets, so all new Lego Star Wars sets will not have the Legacy on it, the Legacy title on it. It will just say Lego Star Wars, and this will be aimed towards the Clone Wars stuff that is coming out. But when it comes to our TIE fighters, our X-Wings, and our Y-Bombers, our Land Speeders, our General Grievous wheel bikes, our AATs, Hellfire tank droids, Corporal Alliance tank droids, ARC 170s, Vulture droids, all that kind of stuff, based off of those movies, they will have the Legacy line. This part of the department, you will focus on these Legacy sets, the Legacy Star Wars titles and projects that make Star Wars what it is today. You will focus on those anniversaries. You will focus on the celebrations. You'll also focus on, we haven't had an X-Wing in X amount of years. Maybe we need a nice new X-Wing this year, but for that Legacy subline. You will focus on maybe the third party shopping of our own product and the scalping. And you will see, it's been a while since we had a good multi-troop transport. We're going to go ahead and make sure that we get a new Star Wars Legacy multi-troop transport in line with an upcoming anniversary for maybe the Phantom Menace, or maybe just really something special. Maybe the person who designed the MTT, maybe their birthday's coming up. Do some of that research, do some of that fun research that really gets people in the community excited and wanting to be part of what's going on with the Star Wars Legacy. Meanwhile, the mainstream line of Star Wars, we are going to put full force on the Clone Wars projects. After the Clone Wars animated projects are over, we will then gradually get Clone Wars transferred into the Legacy group, and we'll focus on the new projects that are coming out. Let's go ahead and say over time this actually ends up starting and it works, but we have this guy named Frank, a Lego employee who works in the Star Wars department. Frank raises his hand and says, I have a concern. Well, what's your concern, Frank? And he said, there are some things from Star Wars that are in the movies or are in the Clone Wars that we never made, but I think we have an awesome opportunity to make those things. All right, well, what things are you talking about specifically? And Frank goes ahead and says, from the original Star Wars trilogy, we have this opportunity of making a full-fledged play set separately of a Bespin Cloud City car. Okay, so the Bespin Cloud car from Cloud City of Bespin, that's an interesting idea. What other stuff do you have in mind? Well, I also realized that we never capitalized on the Umbara arc from the Clone Wars. You know, we made the Umbara heavy cannon, but what about the Umbaran hover tank? What about that Umbaran vehicle where it was like a caterpillar drilling through the earth and coming out of nowhere and blasting through the 501st Legion? We have those really cool designs and ideas to make those sets, but if we wanted to make those, would it go under Legacy or would it go under the main line of Star Wars, since now the movies and Clone Wars are under the Legacies department? What if we want to bring new stuff that we didn't make before from those projects into Lego Star Wars? The head of the department says that's a very awesome question. It's a very good question, Frank. The head of the department makes a decision that when it comes to the main line and the subline of Lego Star Wars and Lego Star Wars Legacy, what we can also go up under the main line is if the set has never been done before, we release under the main line of Lego Star Wars. So congratulations, Frank, with your idea. We have 3 sets, being the Bespin Cloud car, the Umbaran hover tank, and I'm going to call it the Umbaran ambusher. That's what I'll call it, because I don't know the technical term. Buzzy, if you can help me out, that'd be awesome with that. But anyway, so we have those 3 sets coming out, and they're going to be under the Lego Star Wars main tag instead of being under Lego Star Wars Legacy. So you have 3 new sets, 1 being from the original trilogy, 2 being from the Clone Wars. Not to mention that those 2 Clone Wars sets are from a fantastic story arc that really connects with a lot of the fans of Star Wars. From this, Frank gets a big head. He ends up going up in ranks in the Lego company and ends up dying a very successful and happy life. I don't know what happens to Frank. I just want to add that in there. But I hope this gives a little bit of a clear message of what a Lego Star Wars Legacy subline could look like, because this is more than just a regular what if. This is something that I really feel like needs to happen so that the department's focus and their prioritization of these products, that whether you like it or not, of their biggest line, which is Lego Star Wars, are supported by the community, wanted by the community, but also still covers all aspects of the community, because there are people from the community who love the original trilogy and despise all of the animated projects in Disney Plus series. I know a good portion of those people. I also know a good portion of people who absolutely love everything Star Wars. I know people who love the animated stuff more than they do the 6 movies, or I guess the 9 movies now, whatever the case may be. This would also help with a lot of what's going on with coming up, and that is going to be, the anniversary of Revenge of the Sith. We don't have any clear information yet, at least I don't, because I haven't done any research into it yet, about any Revenge of the Sith anniversary sets. I know the last time I looked anything up, some people say that there might be, other people say that there's not going to be anything, that they're still focusing on Return of the Jedi. And that's why I wanted to share with all of you my thoughts on this what if Lego Star Wars Legacy subline. I feel like this could be important. It's not a make or break thing for me. I just had this thought. I've had this thought for a while since I've seen the Lego Ninjago Legacy subline, and I just wanted to share that. I want to know what you guys think about the possibilities of having a Star Wars Legacy subline. Would you be for it? Would you be against it? If you have any questions about how this would work that maybe I didn't cover in the best way possible, that is my niece who just opened the door. If you guys have any questions about what I could have covered better, then please let me know down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, make sure you guys are subscribed and notified, and I hope you enjoyed this what if video. Yes, yeah. And I know this isn't a regular what if, but I do hope you guys still enjoyed it, and I hope you guys actually got your minds thinking a little bit. So I actually have like some reminiscing, like deja vu of how I felt about when I was making the Could Lego Bring Back the Magna Guard video. But either way, with important anniversaries that have been coming up and going, and people saying that they have not been represented correctly whatsoever, I wanted to go and make this video. maybe this is a possible fix for what's going on. But either way, it's well with my soul. It really doesn't matter to me in the grand schemes of life and eternal life. So let me know what you guys think about that. And yeah, I have nothing else to say but for you to have an awesome, God blessed day. Rex out.